a portion of what's in this bill around reunification once a family has had their parental rights terminated. Senator Champion, along with Representative Moran, have a bill that got heard in the Senate that allows, right now the county attorney is the only one that can petition the courts for those parental rights to be restored. To this point, the county attorney has never petitioned the courts for a family's rights to be restored. Never, zero. So we're now saying that we should think that children should, or their parents should be able to come back under a certain set of criteria that the judge would consider if they've gotten their lives in order and restored. And I'll give you an anecdotal kind of talk about that. Let's say somebody's parental rights have been taken away from because of substance abuse disorder, what we used to call chemical health or addiction issues. Our folks who come in and testify on behalf of this, especially in the opioid conversation, has said it takes about a year to 18 months usually for people to go through the kind of treatment and do the kind of work that they have to kind of get their lives back together and to move forward. However, the process to terminate a person's parental rights only takes a year. So those two things fly in the face. If it takes you a year and a half to get your to get your life back together, but they take away your child within a year, then if you do that, there's an opportunity of redemption to be able to get your child back so that they can kind of go back to their families, go back to their communities. I think we've talked about this issue of cultural genocide. I've had a lot of young African-American and other people who said that once they went into foster care, they were totally removed from their communities, not just their parents, but their extended family, their culture, right? Their teachers, their basketball teams, and they grew up in a process in which they didn't know who they were and subsequently had a lot of trouble dealing with society because they had no grounding. So those are just the kind of things in which we hope, and Senator Abler has said that he'll hear it. Now, if it gets in the bill and what it costs and all of that kind of stuff, I think that we'll have to take a look at. But at the end of the day, and I also talked to a community activist who said, wow, we're still doing this? He remembers in the late 1980s when Representative Stanton came here, that's how the Council of African Heritage and their precursor, the Council of Black Minnesotans, was really founded on this issue, right? This is in the late 80s or whatever. So it's time, now it's time. Sorry that I'm late, hopefully I didn't step on too many people's comments, but it's time, and we've been dealing with this issue, and I'll leave you with this, and I've been saying this a lot, along the kind of renewed sense of coming together as a community. If it's good for Black people, if it's good for people of color, it's good for the state.